All righty, guys. Welcome back in to another episode of the Playbook Podcast. This is episode 31, or what I'm going to dub it, the Masters episode. So we were able to drop our episode from last week, yesterday. So if you've seen that, you saw we kind of broke down the Masters a little bit. Of course, the Masters has already happened, but wow. We're just going to jump right in. We have so much to talk about. We're going to jump right in, guys. What a tournament. That was arguably one of the three best sporting events I've ever witnessed with my own eyes. Not just because of who won it, but just because of everything that happened. But of course, it does help when your favorite golfer, since you can remember liking golf, won it. Rory McIlroy, he won it. He won the coveted green jacket. He finally completed the career Grand Slam. So there's a lot to talk about, right? So I think first and foremost, I want to talk about is the Grand Slam, because that's the big story of the week, right? And for those of you who don't know golf, I'll just give you a quick breakdown. There's 4 major tournaments a year, the biggest, best tournaments. Some can argue the FedEx Cup and the Players Championship are also just as important, but for sure there's 4 majors. The Masters, the PGA Championship, the US Open, and the British Open, or just called the Open. And when you win all 4 of those, when you hold all 4 of those titles, it's the career Grand Slam. And so far up to this point, only until Sunday, only 5 people had a career Grand Slam. And those people up until yesterday were Gene Sarazen, Wade. I mean, these are all 50s, 60s, 70s. Gene Sarazen, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus. The most recent up until Sunday was Tiger Woods. He did it in 2000 when he completed his career Grand Slam. And then Rory McIlroy joins that group on Sunday with a win at the Masters. This was a special day for me. I've been watching Rory play golf for about 15 years now, and I've watched him lose and choke and suffer in major tournaments for the last 11 years. His last win until Sunday yesterday was the 2014 US Open. So for about 11 years, I watched him suffer and lose, and there were many times he should have won. 2023, the Open against Cam Smith. These are just recent memory ones. 2022 Masters where he got second. The 2024 US Open when he lost to Bryson. So I've watched a lot of pain and misery with this guy. I've been through a lot with Rory as a fan. Obviously, it's just as a fan, but it was a very, very, very special day. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I cried. When Rory broke down into tears on the 18th green and fell on his knees and started crying, I kind of just lost control of my emotions. Call me a joke. Call me, hey, sports isn't that serious. But I watched a man who put in years and years and years of dedication and years of slander, being called a choker. He released that burden in the most spectacular and Rory fashion ever. We'll break that down in a little bit. But Trey, just talk about it. Just what did you think of the Masters overall? We'll hop into the questions after you give your brief thoughts about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I've watched a lot of great sports in my life. I've watched LeBron. Go ahead.
Real quickly. Trey has watched more golf tournaments than anyone I ever know. So listen to what he says about this Masters.
Yeah, I watched golf for a long time. Started playing it 5 years ago during COVID, and because I was just a kid and I wanted to get. I wish I played a lot younger, but I always watched golf. I love watching it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's probably my 1B favorite sport behind basketball.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
I love football. You all know I grew up watching football, but it's basketball and golf for me, and then everything else behind that. And even you can ask Nick too how football fan I am. You can ask my parents how much a football fan I am. And I know a lot about football too. But this was probably the second greatest event I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, maybe tied with Tiger Woods' 19 Masters. Okay. I've seen this guy choke many times, even in PGA tournaments.
I didn't even mention 2011 Masters when Rory had the 54-hole lead and just shot an 80 on Sunday. just fell apart completely. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was young. That was like his second year
He
on
was very
tour.
young. He was very young then. Yeah.
And
Yep.
I watched him dominate the 2000 U.S. Open was probably one of the most dominant tournaments I've seen in my life. So, and I'm gonna be real. The first round, the 15th hole, I had a little bit of doubt. I'm like, dang it, man, my pick's done. I literally said to myself, I don't know, man. I don't think this guy will ever win a
That,
tournament ever again.
that was the double bogey on 15, right? Rory's
Yeah,
double bogey on
double
15
bogey
in
on
round one.
15.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
chipped. Because it's crazy because two players prior to Rory, it was Patrick Cantley,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was someone else. I forgot his name. I think it was someone on Live. They chipped in, and
Mm-hmm.
from the behind that the behind the green.
Yeah.
So and they chipped into the water, and I think Rory tried. I could see Rory try spinning it, wanted to spin it a little bit, but the spin didn't
Yeah.
help. And the 15th hole was brutal. I mean,
It's a tough hole.
and the amen from the ninth hole to about the end of 16, probably the most important tournaments and probably the most important holes in that tournament.
Yeah.
And
And maybe
so
in all of golf. Yeah.
maybe in all of golf, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
the hardest par three that can break you. You have you have the easy par three in 16th, but you never know. It can go in the water.
It can go in the water, but
You
12
never
is
know.
just ridiculous. Yeah.
And it's a
The
hard
12th hole
sport.
in Augusta. Yeah.
So but when he won the tournament, I was happy for him. I was at church when it happened, so I went back and watched it. I literally started crying too, man. I cried.
Man,
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna lie. I cried. Man, yeah.
I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up this morning like, man, you actually won the Masters.
Dude, it's hard for people who don't watch golf or follow golf to understand how big this is. And
Yeah,
I've been on Twitter a lot, and other social medias and seeing people who don't watch golf being like, explain this to me in NBA terms, explain this to me in NFL terms. There's no real good way to explain it in another sport
yeah,
simply because it's a solo sport. So one person I saw say it was like if Josh Allen won the Super Bowl, I was like, well, Rory had already won 3 majors up until then. So that's not, or I'm sorry,
or like the
4 up until
Cowboys
then.
won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's more like if I think probably just the Cowboys as a franchise. If
Yeah,
because very dominant a while ago. Obviously, Rory was more dominant earlier because the 2012, 2013, 2014 was when Rory was at his best. But if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl now, that's probably the only good comparison I can think of. Just choking for so long, then finally winning. But a lot of people don't understand how important the Masters is as an event. We're going to talk about what the Masters means to me and Trey and what it means to the sports world. But this is the single most illustrious event in golf. And it might be the most illustrious event in sports, but definitely in golf because every other major is held at different courses. Other
yeah,
courses host the US Open, the PGA Championship, and the Open. The courses that are hosting those events change each year, not the Masters. So think of it as like the crown jewel of the crown jewels.
yeah,
If you ask any golfer, I mean any golfer, me, Trey, Bob that shoots on the range that you go see sometimes, old man, anyone, the best golfers, Tiger Woods, you ask the worst golfers, me, you know, ask any of us if you could win one tournament in golf, what it would be. I guarantee you 99% of them are going to say the Masters because it's the most illustrious, it's the most important, and it's a big reflection of you as a golfer. And it's incredible. But we're going to talk a lot about the Masters. We're going to talk a lot about golf this tournament. We're already 10 minutes in, and I haven't even asked the first question yet. So that's a great start. But this is a big one. This is a big one for me. It's a big one for Trey as well. With a Grand Slam, 5 majors. Where does Rory rank all time now in the golfing world?
So I'm gonna give you a hot take, and but here's the deal: it's been a lot of great golfers I've seen play in the past. I mean, in my opinion, nobody will ever touch Tiger Woods in my lifetime. I won't care at all. Um, but I look at Greg Norman. I look at Even though he has 2 majors, but I think the '90s was probably his peak of golf. Probably the best golfer in the '90s until Tiger Woods came.
Yeah.
And Nick can agree with that. If you can agree with that,
Mm-hmm.
you look at Nick Faldo, who had Cinderella
Mm-hmm.
stories in the
Yep.
Masters, beating
Yep.
Norman head to head, is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And he was not fearless of Norman at all. You look at Sam Snead, 82 wins,
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the best swings ever in golf. Look at Bobby Jones, arguably the greatest amateur of all time. I think he retired too early because he wanted to become a doctor and a physician. So
Mm-hmm.
you look at Ben Hogan, before his car accident, he got hit. It was worse than Tiger Woods. I mean, he got hit. He was basically paralyzed, and he comes back up from a chair. He has a blood clot in his leg, and it was just bad for Ben Hogan. But yet, he had one of the most dominant swings of all time. Look at
Mm-hmm.
Seve, the late great Seve Ballesteros.
Yeah.
You look at Vijay Singh, Phil Mickelson, Gary Player, all these golfers, on and on. So right now, my top 5 before this tournament happened, it was Tiger, Jack, Arnold Palmer, Mickelson, and Ben Hogan. But last night, I thought about it. I went back and watched the tournament again. I went back and rewatched it. I really did. The whole thing from Thursday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched it, and he's the top 3 golfer I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
He is. I mean, here's why. He's solidified with Tiger Woods as being the most impactful golfers ever.
Yeah. Oh, and to back that point up before you continue, the Masters yesterday was you're not going to believe this. It was more watched than the 2019 Masters.
Yeah.
It had a peak rating of 19.7 million viewers, making it the highest viewed tournament in 25 years and the highest viewed Masters since I believe it was 2018. So
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I believe that too. But yeah, I think for me, it's a top 3 golfer of all time. Because the Grand
Man.
Slam is hard. It's a hard thing to do. It's
we
hard.
we haven't seen it in 25 years, and until Tiger did it, we hadn't seen it in 40 years. There's
Yeah.
been 2 guys in the last half century that have won a Grand Slam, Rory and Tiger. So it's the hardest thing in I think all of sports is
Yeah.
a Grand Slam in golf. So yeah.
Yeah. And top of that, look at I might could just go to Grand Slam. I'm gonna go before what happened. So this guy, and when I first came on tour, he was hot from the get go.
Yeah, he's a
He went
phenom. Yeah.
He was a hot guy. He was like hyped up, and he
Mm-hmm.
won the 2011 U.S. Open by dominance.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
tied
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. He tied Tiger Woods' record in low scoring because in the final round, it was insane what Tiger Woods did in 2000 U.S. Open. You look at even the year prior to that, next year to that, he won a PGA. He won the U.S. Open, not the U.S. the Open.
Mm-hmm.
So he has 2 PGAs and I believe 1 U.S. Open.
One U.S. Open and one Open. Yeah.
And then one and he also has the Masters. So
Yep.
top of that,
Oh, man.
look at his swing. His swing was arguably the best swing of all time. It's so smooth. You look at
so
you look at as a 5'10" guy, if he's literally 5'10", he's swinging the ball like he's like 6'10", 6'1", 6'2".
I don't know how it generates that much power. I
I
really
don't
don't know.
That guy works out. I mean, whoever give me his trainer, bro, for real.
I have no idea how he does
I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know. But Rory McIlroy is a top 3 golfer of all time. He's right now behind Tiger Woods, probably the most popular golfer ever behind Tiger Woods.
I think so.
I mean, if you think Jack Nicklaus, then you're just full of crap. If you think it's freaking Arnold Palmer or Phil Mickelson, you're just full of yourself. You really don't know golf at all. I understand with learning golf, but if you know experience about golf, you're just full of yourself. So you look at his clutch shots in the FedEx Cup against Scotty
Oh
Scheffler.
man,
He
the
won
hole
head-to-head.
out. Oh my gosh,
In
yeah.
2022 against Scotty Scheffler. Had a great season that year. He did not care. He was not fearless. And by the way, head-to-head, he owned Scotty head-to-head, by the way, in the final round of a major, of a tournament overall. that person, Scottie Scheffler's supposed to be the next Tiger Woods, right? Rory owns him head to head in the final round. Actually, he beat him he beat him 1-on-1 and match play. He beat him 1-on-1 and the Players one time. He beat him 1-on-1 and the FedEx Cup in 2022. He owns Scottie Scheffler. He owns him.
Yeah.
So he's a top 3 golfer of all time. Mickelson did not win a Grand Slam. On top of that, Mickelson has never been world number 1 in his life. Never has. Rory McIlroy has done it 3 times actually. 3 times, yeah. 3 times of his career. Top of that, Ben Hogan's great. Ben Hogan's respectful. I mean, he's not better than Rory McIlroy. I think because of his injury that happened in the late 1900s, where he got hit by a truck in El Paso, Texas, then yes, he would probably been up there. Arnold Palmer had his predecessor was Jack Nicklaus. Nicklaus owned him. He owned him. So Rory McIlroy is the top 3 golfer of all time. I will give you Jack number 2, but I will give Jack 2, and then it's Rory, then it's Hogan, Mickelson, and then I have Jack. I have Tiger number 1. So, but yeah, that's my top 3 golfers of all. That's my top 5 of all time, and congrats, Rory.
Yeah, and just real on that 2022 or 2022 FedEx Cup. Scotty was ranked 1, and in the FedEx Cup, if you're ranked 1 at the end of the season before the start of the tournament, you get to start 10 under. He started 10 under. Rory started 4 under. Yeah. Rory ended up winning that by 1. He shot a 63 on Saturday and then a 66 on Sunday. One of the clutchest performances I've ever seen in my life. In what I think should be counted as a major, the FedEx Cup, there's no event that gives you as much money. In the 2022 FedEx Cup, Rory won $18 million. That's ridiculous. Multiple times more than you win in a major. So in my opinion, I think a FedEx Cup should count as a major, which it might eventually count. But right now he has 5. I thought about this long and hard. I think the only people who I can comfortably put above him are people who also have a Grand Slam but have more major wins. So that for me cuts out Nick Faldo, Greg Norman, Phil Mickelson. I think he's a top 3 golfer of all time in terms of talent and ability. I want to see where he ends up at the end of his career in terms of majors. I really do think that at the end of his career, he could be 3rd all time. I think if he gets to 8 or 9, I think it's easily he's number 3. And I know if he gets to 10, Trey's putting him 2 all time. He's knocking Jack right out of 2. I guarantee you, Trey will put Rory at 2 if he wins 10 majors. But
yeah, just Jack's era is overrated. I'm sorry, dude. It's washed down,
and
those golfers were not competing in today's era.
Yeah, that's why it's hard for me to put Ben Hogan above him. I think the only guy other than Jack, because Jack he won too many times. Obviously, Tiger won, Jack 2. I think I'm gonna have to go Gary Player 3. I think Gary Player is unbelievable. I want to see where Rory ends. I'm going to go Tiger, Jack, Gary Player, Rory, Phil. That's going to be my top 5. So I had him behind Phil and behind Hogan. And now I have him above Hogan and above Phil because I have Hogan right behind Phil. So I definitely think that he's a top 5 golfer ever now. Grand Slam, guys, if someone has 7 majors to Rory's 5, but they don't have a Grand Slam, I just like Nick Faldo. Nick Faldo himself, he's got let me pull it up here. He's got quite a lot of majors. He has 6. He has 1 more than Rory, but he never won the PGA Championship and he never won the US Open. Phil has more than him, but he's never won a US Open. So and I know that Phil would most definitely have a Grand Slam if he didn't play with Prime Tiger. Kind of unlucky, but it's just the way it goes. But I got him 4 behind Hogan, behind Jack, behind Tiger. Let's see where he ends up at the end of the end of his career. Then we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk for sure. So he won after opening round 72, and the first thing that came to mind was it was very Tiger-esque to me. And one thing real quickly here, I heard so many people Oh, Bryson making that putt on 18 to put him in the final round. I heard it on 18 on Saturday when Bryson hit the putt to go to 10 under to be in that final grouping. I can't tell you how many people I saw basically saying, "Oh, the tournament's over. Bryson's going to win. Bryson's too much of an alpha. He's going to own Rory in that final pairing. He's going to get in his head." I didn't put it on here. Actually, we definitely have to talk about it. Bryson had a massive meltdown in that final round. So I'm going to pull it up here. So he starts off at 10 under. Okay. So he's 10 under. Rory bogeys, double bogeys the first. Rory double bogeys the first. So it's 10. They're tied at 10 under. Bryson birdies the second to put him at 11 under. Rory parred it. So DeChambeau has the lead. Guys, after 55 holes, 56 holes, Bryson DeChambeau had the lead in the Masters. Then he goes bogey, bogey, 2 bogeys in a row, par, and then at 11, he has a double. 12, he has a bogey. He gets a birdie on 14, and then he goes birdie 16, then he bogey 17. I mean, he just completely melted down. So I think that Rory kind of just dominated him in the last round. I know Rory didn't have a great last round himself. He had a couple double bogeys and you know, obviously things like that, but he shot a 73. Not great, but it was good enough to win the whole tournament. So, I mean, what did you think of Rory after his opening round 72? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought it was over. I've seen the story way too many times. Rory plays poorly in the first round of the Masters. He gets hot in the second and third round, and then by the time the third round comes around or the fourth round comes around, he's too far away from the leaders. But I mean, what'd you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I had a little doubt, but I didn't have much doubt as you did. Because I told you, man,
didn't.
don't give up. Don't give up on that. Don't give up. Since the first round, you never know. And then he came back. The second round, he did really good. I was working at the Rangers, so I watched every tournament, or I watched everything on my laptop with Mike doing stuff on the computer. But I knew he had a chance because the first win at Pebble Beach for something this year.
This year, yeah.
I saw something different in his swing. And I don't know if you see it a lot, but before, he used to shallow the club way too much.
He's very shallow, yeah.
And he's kind of
like John Rahm level shallow.
Yeah. Like he was shallowing his club like crazy. Like he was blowing his wrist like crazy. And then but then this year when I watched him at Pebble Beach, I'm like, something's off, something's crazy about his swing. And he's really let loose of not showing that much the club at all. Or even blowing his wrist too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of cemented it a little bit. And then we won a players tournament. I'm like, okay, this guy's gonna win a major this year. It might be the Masters, it might be the PGA, US, or the Open. I knew it was gonna win a major this year. I just knew it back.
I thought it was going to be the PGA. I did not think he was going to win the Masters this year.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought Bryson might win it, but at first in the beginning of the year, but then I'm like, you know what, Rory can actually win the Masters. I have faith in it, and that's when it happened. And then in the third round, that might have been the longest drive in the first hole since I've seen it since 2005 in Tiger Woods.
That was crazy.
That was probably the longest drive I've seen since 2005. Masters.
Yeah, that was nuts. Round. Yeah.
And final round, Tiger Woods had 335-yard drive on the first round, and then he had 110 to the pin, to the hole. Rory had 371 drive with 100 yards into the shot and to the green.
Mm-hmm.
He darts it. So I knew he had a chance because in golf, you got to block stuff out, and he blocked it all out. He blocked out the negativity, the pressure, and he blocked out the shots. It was really Tiger-esque because in 2005, Tiger didn't play that good all the 4 rounds. He didn't play good in the 4 rounds. I mean, the final round, he shot 72, and Chris DeMarco shot 62. No, 65, I mean, and Tiger still won the tournament. I mean, he shot one round of 70s, and that was the round 3. And you look at round 2, Tiger Woods put it off the green on 13. Rory had a bad shot on 13.
Oh, a horrific shot.
That was probably the worst shot I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, like to set the stage before Trey continues. So it's a par 5. It's a par 5 13, and he hits a bad drive. He kind of has to lay up. He lays up in a good spot. He's about 89 yards away. He's got a lob wedge in his hand, and the way the pin was set up on Sunday it was kind of maybe 6 feet off the left of that bank where it goes into the river. Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, just look up Augusta holes and you'll figure out what we're talking about. For the golf nerds, you know exactly what we're talking about. But he has like 40 yards of green to the left. And he can either play it very spinny right under the hole, let it bounce, stop, and then roll out to 5-6 feet. He could play it super safe, go to the left, and just have a 40-footer. And he just decides that he's going to go right at the pin. He hits a horrible shot. Did it even? I think it hit the green, but then it hit at the very edge of that bank and just rolled off. And then he ends up having a double. And at this point, guys, I believe he was four shots up. He was 13 under. Bryson was the second closest. I'm sorry. Justin Rose was the second closest at 9 under at that point. And I mean, that changed everything. So yeah, continue.
Yeah. And then, on top of that, I think this is just amazing tournament, man. It was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was probably an amazing tournament, man. Congrats to Rory for that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy. I first thought Justin Rose was going to win the tournament after that chip and at 13.
After 13, I thought it was over. I thought it was
because in the Sunday round, in the final round of a major, those people that have had a chance of winning the green jacket, like Greg Norman, for example, 1996 against Nick Faldo, he hit a bad shot on 13.
Mm-hmm.
It cost him the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Faldo beat him.
Yeah, 13 kill. I mean, it's one of
it's hard.
That's Amen Corner, bro. Amen Corner is deadly. And Amen Corner is 11, 12, 13 at Augusta. And it has a tough par 4. I think the hardest par 3 in golf. It's not just, it's hard because it's 220 yards. It's not that long of a hole, which is why I love it so much. It's about 160, 170, 180, depending on where they're playing it, yard hole, which isn't terrible. I mean, these guys are, there's some par 3s that are 250. It's the way the green is and the way the wind swirls above the trees. A great example was in 2019 when Ian Poulter, Brooks Koepka, Tony Finau, Francesco Molinari all ended up in the water. I mean, I'm dead serious. 4 guys that could have won the tournament all ended up in the water on 12, and then Tiger sticks it to 20 feet, plays it safe. But this is a super deadly stretch of holes, and Rory was perfect at Amen Corner all week until the 13th in the round 4. And like Trey said, I thought it was over. I thought it was done. He was, and then Rose birdied at that point. So Rose had just birdied. He birdied 13. So he was actually at 10 after that hole. Then Rory goes and double bogeys. Now it's only a 1-shot lead from a 4 to a 1. And yeah, I mean, like Trey said, it was a horrible shot. It was a bad shot. He thought it was over. Then he plays 14 and he bogeys it. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Double bogey, and then 15. And I know I think this might have been one of the greatest shots I've ever seen in my life. And I've watched Tiger Woods play golf. So this is saying a lot. 15 is another par 5. And Rory dominated it all week. And if you guys saw the picture, Trey reposted on his story, round 3, hole 15, Rory hits a 5-iron, I believe, or is a 6-iron, I think, from about 220. And he starts walking after it just like Tiger did on the same hole with almost the same club. And just walked after it. The side-by-side is incredible. So Rory had done great all week on that.
Mm-hmm.
He goes up to 15 on round 4. And this leads me to my next question because I think this is my answer. I don't know yet. He hits a decent drive. It's in the fairway, but he's right in front of the tree. So that if he wants to get it on the green, he has to wrap it around the trees.
All right.
So 7-iron in hand, about 200 yards. He's not even aiming at the hole. He's aiming like almost 90 degrees. He wraps it around the trees, sticks it to about 7 feet for eagle. He ended up missing the eagle putt, but he made the birdie, which was incredibly important. And that put him to that 11, which is what caused the playoff. But I mean, that was one of the most incredible shots ever. So I guess in your opinion, what was his best shot from the week? Because we talked about his worst. Me and Trey both agree that 13 on round 4 was his worst shot. So what do you think his best shot was?
Well, there's 3 in my head. There's a 7 second shot on 7. He hit a horrible drive in the woods, and then he freaking pulls it off speed and clips it, and he's like 6 feet from the hole. That's the first one.
That was insane. That shot was ridiculous. That was Tiger. I literally thought I was watching. I thought I was looking at Tiger Woods. That was crazy.
I really did. Is Tiger Woods playing?
Dude, I was like, "There's no." Yeah, that was insane. That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. And then that one, in the first, and also the third round, first hole, that drive was enormous. And then that one, and then there's actually 2 more. The 15th in round 3, kind of the same distance, but
the Tiger walking at it, yeah.
There's that one,
awesome.
And then there's this one too. So it's like I don't really have one. It's just a tie in my book, man. They're all.
It's
great.
Just yeah, and it's hard. And his second on 17 as well was massive.
That one too. Yeah,
that he wrapped an 8-iron. He was telling it to go, and it ended up 3 feet short of the hole. That was incredible. That he birdied that hole.
And then the playoff round, because Justin Rose, he was in the bunker.
So before we get to the playoff, the way that it happened. So Rory's 12 under going into the 18th. He's up 1. He hits if you hit that bunker,
you're cooked.
You're cooked. So he's in the bunker on 18. He drives it. The drive was great. He was a great drive on 18, but he hits it in that right side bunker. And I think he got a little antsy at it because we've seen him hole out from that bunker. We've seen a lot of people hole out from that bunker, but he chips it to about 6-7 feet. He misses the putt. Bogeys, forces the playoff. They replay 18. So they go back to the first tee. Rory has to sit there and wait for Justin Rose to come back from the practice range. And it's not, I'm not blaming Justin Rose. He was far away. He had to wait for a cart. They took him out there. Rory has to sit there and be like, wow, I just missed a putt to win the Masters. I just missed a putt to win the Masters. Rory said his caddy was like, hey man, if I told you Monday you'd be in a playoff for the Masters win, we'd take it all day. And Rory said that kind of helped reset his mental. He hits a better drive than he did in regulation. Pipes one down the middle. His second shot, Trey, I swear I thought I saw Tiger Woods. I swear I thought I saw red on that man. He sticks it to 3 feet. After Justin Rose hits a pretty good shot, he's about 8-ish feet away. All the pressure in the world. You just shanked that club, the gap wedge. He hit a gap wedge, the same club he hit on 18 in regulation that was in the bunker. He shanked that bunker shot in regulation. Then in the playoff, perfectly right off the bank, rolls down to 3 feet. The rest is history. So for me, it's either the 15th second, one of those he had a couple tree shots. I thought I was literally looking at Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
18-second shot or the playoff second shot, I think were the most impressive to me, and a couple of those tree shots. And then his second on 15 in round 3 as well. But oh man, unbelievable. Real quickly before we talk a little bit more about Rory, I do want to talk a little bit about because there was some big disappointments in the week, and I know Trey is very excited about this one. So what player were you most disappointed in during the Masters week?
Okay, so I'm disappointed in Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka had his aura about him. He was like, a couple years ago, he could have won a year ago, he could have won the Masters overall.
Mm-hmm.
And he just fell apart. in 2020 in the final round.
Yeah.
So there's that one. And Brooks Koepka, here's the deal. I don't know what's going on in Live. These Live golfers suck. They actually suck.
Dude, tell me why Patrick Reed is the best live golfer. Oh, not including
Yeah.
Bryson. I don't count Bryson because I think he's going to come back to the PGA.
Yeah,
but
same.
But like,
And
yeah,
like Patrick Reed came out of nowhere in the final round. Came out of nowhere. I'm like, where's this guy coming from? Like, what in the world's going on here? So Brooks, I think his cockiness is a little bit too much. A little bit. He's a little cocky. He just has that aura, like, I don't care mentality, and
yeah,
you should
yeah.
care because
You
you're a
should.
freaking golfer and you're an athlete. And if you don't care, why are you even playing? Why are you even playing a sport?
Yep.
Why are you even playing that? I mean, in the full send, that episode 2, he had a soft freaking mentality. It made me so mad watching that episode. He says, "Oh, I don't care, man. I practice, but I don't want to practice, and all of this and that, and I just like to have fun out there, and I don't care what people think behind my back." Like, Brooks, shut up, bro. Like, shut up. You're not. There's a reason why you lost your #1 spot in 2019. There's a reason for that, and it's just so annoying hear him say crap like that, and that's just so dumb for him to say. I don't know. I think Liv ruined some people in their mentality. Him, including Phil Mickelson too. That guy, I'm tired of this guy seeing, looking like he's just drinking alcohol on the course and act like he's high. He looks stoned out there, bro. He looks literally stoned out there. And I just came to these Liv golfers, man. That league ruined one of the best tournament golfers ever. It could have been the best golfers ever. Look at John Rahm. John Rahm hasn't done anything since 2023.
2020, 23 when he won the Masters.
There's done nothing great for the sport. The Live ruined him.
Yeah.
Live has ruined all these golfers, and I blame Greg Norman for this. So yeah.
Yeah. Brooks was a big disappointment. I would say Dustin Johnson, but I don't think anyone expects him to. His Masters win, guys, I'm so sorry. His Masters win was so phony in 2012. They didn't play in April. There was zero patrons, no patrons, no patrons. Yeah. They played in like August.
Yeah.
So the conditions were way, way, way easier. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Obviously, he still won it. He has a green jacket.
If Tiger doesn't score a 10, scored a triple bogey on that 12th hole, he would have won back to back easily.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not like I'm not super impressed by him. So he missed the cut. Phil missed the cut as well. I believe that was actually Phil's first miscut at the Masters, I think.
2016.
If I remember correctly. I think, I guess he was a second. But like these guys haven't really done anything since they joined Live. The only Live golfer that has won a major since they went to Live was Bryson DeChambeau. In last year in the US Open. But I'm gonna go to someone who wasn't there. I alluded to this already. My biggest disappointment was Bryson DeChambeau. It might sound crazy for the guy that finished tied 5th, but if you watch that tournament, he was kind of like awesome all week. He had a decent round 1. He finished 3 under. Round 2, he was great. He finished 4 under. Round 3, another fantastic round, another 3 under performance. And then going into round 4, he's 2 back. He ended up having a lead after 56 holes. And if we're going to do what we did to Rory for so many years, we have to do what that same thing to Bryson. He completely melted down. I don't know if Rory was in his head. They asked him afterwards, did Rory talk to you? He said, no, Rory didn't say a word to me, which is kind of funny because I saw a video of Rory greeting him and talking to him before the round started. Seemed like he's, pretty nice then. But then when the round started, Rory didn't talk. Guys, this was the biggest tournament of his life.
Yeah.
2019. Ask Tony Finau what Tiger Woods did in 2019. He said one sentence to him all day. I don't know if Rory got in his head. Rory wasn't there to chat. He was there to win a green jacket, and he did so. But I'm very disappointed in Bryson's final round, specifically kind of the last like 15 holes. He was horrible. As that back nine, awful. He was still in contention after 10. I'm sorry, after 9. He was nine under. That would have he only needed a couple shots to make that playoff. But I'm very disappointed in Bryson's performance there. That was mind-boggling to me. Ludwig Oberg had a pretty rough last hole. He did quadruple bogey. Triple bogeyed 18. He was at 10 under at one point. He's young. I think he's going to win a major this year. I think he's going to win the U.S. Open. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. But for me, it's Bryson. Second would be Brooks. Brooks was just awful.
He missed a cut.
I mean, he was awful. This was like really good weather for Augusta. The course was obviously in great condition, but they didn't have to deal with a ton of wind. They didn't have to deal with like.
They said that was the easiest since in a long time.
In a while, because it's typically very rainy, so
it gets delayed and
it gets really firm. All the greens get very, very, very firm because they dry up. They soak the water up, then they dry up and get really firm. So the scoring conditions were there. And Brooks did nothing.
Yeah.
I was pretty disappointed in that for sure. But so that being said, we're going to go back to a little bit of Rory talk. It's already been 40 minutes. We're not done with the golf talk yet. Sorry guys, but it's really important thing that happened. So with Rory getting that Masters monkey off of his back and that 11-year drought of majors, do you think we'll see a more freed up Rory at the rest of the majors this year? And how many majors do you think he could win this year? So a two-part question.
Yeah, I think Rory can probably win 3. 2 more actually. I think overall 3 of this year. Quail Hollow, he's won 4 times in that tournament, in that course. That's his favorite course of all time. He said it straight up.
Yeah, and that's where the PGA Championship is being held. Quail Hollow.
Yep. Yeah. And then the Open is his home country in Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So he can win that one for his home crowd. And I think his dad might be in attendance for that one too. So
he definitely will. Yeah.
So he might win 2 more. And then I'll be at 8. Now, if he gets to 8,
no, he'll be at 7 if he wins 2 more.
7, that's right. 7.
5, yeah. He'll be at 7 majors.
Maybe at the U.S. Open, because I feel like even though Ludwig is going to be great and he's long, but something in the U.S. Open, it's a long course in Oakmont, and you have to have a long drive with the golf ball.
Yeah, you have to be accurate too. You have to be accurate
and long.
Yeah.
So you guys have a lot of power too, and your iron game has to be spot on. It has to be.
They have to be.
Have to be. If not, you're cooked. So I think for sure, if not, maybe the U.S. Open, but for sure at the PGA and the Open.
So I think it broke really well for him this year. Like Trey said, Quail Hollow, he's won 4 times. That's his favorite course. He owns that course. He went back-to-back Wells Fargo's there. So he won in 2018, 2021, and then went back-to-back in 23 and 24 at Quail Hollow. He loves it. He loves that course. That's where it's going to be played at. And that's a big opportunity for him to get one there. The U.S. Open is going to be go ahead.
He has averaged 69 scoring average in Quail Hollow, which is under par minus 107, by the way. That's how dominant he is at Quail Hollow since 2010.
He has a 69 average at Quail Hollow?
Yep.
Wow. That's that's very impressive. Wow. I didn't even know that.
Majors, by the way, that's even including majors.
Yeah, that's insane. It's a par 71, so that's 3 under. So if he averaged his normal, I'm sorry, that's 2 under, and that's a tough course. If he averaged that'd be 8 under. In championship conditions, that would probably be a very, very, very good score. But yeah, he's very, very good there. I think his most recent win in 2024, he finished 17 under for the week. So we'll see what he does there. U.S. Open's at Oakmont. like Trey said, you got to be you have to be long, you have to be accurate, and your irons have to be good. Well, that's kind of what Rory just showed us at Augusta, so there's a good chance of there. And then, of course, the Open is in Northern Ireland, and it's a course that he's played at quite often in his career. The Open Championship that's his home. That's his home. That's his home country. I mean, Royal Portish. I think he's played there quite a lot. It's a link style course.
Isn't that where he won the 2014 Open?
I'm. Let me see here. The 2014 Open was held at Royal Liverpool, so that one was in England. But he's proven, and then like in 2023, at man, I wish he would have won that. The one that Cam Smith won at St. Andrews. But Rory can play at link style courses, and it's going to be in his home country. He's going to have the crowd behind him, like Trey said. His family's going to be there, his parents. So we'll see what happens there. But I think he's going to win one more, but I wouldn't be shocked if he got two more. I think he's either going to win the PGA or the Open. But I want to see what he looks like with that burden lifted off of him.
Yeah, he was pressured a lot.
Because he was very, 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 and it made small things very pressured. Now that he has nothing to prove, I want to see how he plays. So I'm very interested in the PGA Championship. I want to see what he looks like there. It's his favorite course. Zero pressure, no more. He's a Grand Slam winner. I mean, so I want to see what he looks like there. If he goes out there and dominates the PGA Championship, I think he go win the Open too, or the U.S. Open or the Open. I don't think he can win all four because that's literally we've never seen it. But I think he could win two more. And I think he's going to win one more. I think he can win two more. So we'll see what. And if he wins two more and gets to 7, we're going to start having some uncomfortable conversations. But this goes to my next question: do you think now, freed up Rory, he's 35? That's not old in golf. Justin Rose is 44. He was just one shot away from winning the Masters. We've seen Tiger Woods win at an old age. Rory takes good care of his body. So I think he has 6-7 great years of golf left, which would be 28 more opportunities at majors.
Yeah.
So do you think Rory could go for 10?
Yeah, he can. If he does, I'm putting him 2. If he does, I'm putting him 2. Buying Tiger Woods. I actually do. Those out there, I thought about putting this guy at number 2 of all time. I thought about it.
He thought
about it. Nick. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. That overrated. Oh, white dude can't do jack in this era. So I'm just saying it's the truth. I don't care. Well, Jack Nicklaus won 18 majors. Like, shut up. You're playing soft hit people. Tiger would dominate all of them, bro. He would literally cook them all, make them all cry, make them quit golf for good. So if Rory wants to hit majors, I don't care. He's top 2 to ever do it. He'll be a top 2 to ever do it.
Dude, if he wins 10, man.
And I don't care what. You can come bash me all you want. I've seen Jack Nicklaus play, by the way. They're never that dominant, man. He's won by luck. I mean, at the 86 Masters, Norman had the lead. He hit in the water. Him and Seve did. And then Jack won. So he won by stroke, actually. The 75 Masters, he won by 2 strokes. Behind him, I don't even know the guy's name. I forgot his name. I think he's become I think he's a commentator on NBC Sports now for golf. Not Dan Hicks, but the other guy. I think it was before him. The one I retired, Johnny Miller. That's his name. Won by 2 strokes. Good for you. The PGA Championship in the late 70s, early 80s against Tom Watson, he won by a stroke. And Jack Nicklaus actually lost majors in his prime, in his peak. Tiger Woods lost majors, but not like that. Not like the way Jack Nicklaus did. He had a mental meltdown. So if Rory wins 10 majors, he'll be a top 2 driver.
And like I said, I'm so interested to see how he plays. So the PGA Championship's next month. Let me get the exact dates here. Yeah, we're in the full swing now. So the PGA Championship is May 15th through May 18th. So it literally starts a month from tomorrow.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it starts well. It's on a Thursday, but it'll be a month from April 15th. But Quail Hollow, favorite course, his no guys. I don't think no one unless you've really followed Rory or follow golf, you don't really know how much pressure this guy had to not only win another major but to complete the Grand Slam.
Yeah, like a year ago,
yeah,
he saw Stephen A. Smith, who doesn't know golf that much, was saying, "I don't think this guy will ever win ever again." Stephen A. said it.
yeah.
Skip Bayless said it on before his show got canceled on Fox Sports. You heard Colin Cowherd say it a lot last year. It was actually on the air last summer. I was surprised. Same with Nick, and the only like people thought this guy was like done for good. Nick said it to me a few times that I don't think you ever win ever again.
I thought he could win a major again. I just didn't think he'd ever win the Masters. I thought that it was a demon in his mind that he couldn't beat. And I know I'm on 18 after he hit that putt and he fell to his knees and screamed. It just like was an 11-year burden.
Yeah,
lifted off of his shoulder. I want to see how this guy plays now. Is he just going to be the most dominant we've seen since Prime Tiger? I don't know. He has the ability. It's always been mental for Rory. He's one of the most talented golfers ever. It's always been mental. Amazing. And I want to see, he's going to his favorite course off of a Masters win. I want to see what he does. I really do. I really, really do. So I'm so excited for the PGA Championship. And yeah, if Rory goes for 10, we're going to have some very uncomfortable conversations about that 2 spot. I know Trey's itching to get Jack out of the 2 spots. So I know if Rory gets 10, Jack's not going to be in there anymore, but I'm and Rory's doing this in a very, very tough era. This is the era of parity in golf. There's a lot of great golfers. There's a lot of great young golfers. It's the longest the game's ever been. It's the longest the courses have ever been. And some of the toughest conditions we've ever seen. And if he gets 10, man.
Top 2 for me.
Yeah. So that being said, where does the 2025 Masters rank for you in Masters? And you've already alluded to this, and I've kind of already alluded to this. Where does it rank overall in golf tournaments that you've watched?
Yeah, so I have my top 5 Masters of all time. I'll go ahead and go through it. Number 1, I think this is tied with Tiger Woods' 19 Masters. Because the 19 Masters, he went through a lot in his career. Tiger went through a lot. The media built him up to be this perfect image guy. And and Tiger even said that he hated being in front of the camera all the time. He hated it. And because his normal lifestyle was completely gone for good.
Yeah.
If watched the documentary on HBO Max, I mean, Nick, I don't know if you watched it, but for the 2 episodes that were on there, he was like everywhere, and he even told his friend that was a girl that his favorite thing to do was scuba diving because he said that the fishes don't know who I am down there, which is interesting because he had a lot people wanting to be around this guy, and so everything he went through in that 19 Masters to be able to win, because people thought he would never win ever again. The dude got arrested for DUI. Tiger Woods is over. He's done. He's finished. He's washed up. His black boo out. His dad. He's cooked and this and that, and he's done. He's washed up. And then next thing you know, there's this clip of Larry King before he died, and he said that, "Do you think he can get to 18 majors?" And then Tiger Woods said, "No, I don't believe that." And then he said, "Okay." He said, have you accepted that yet?" Tiger Woods said, "I believe I can get more than that. I still think he can get more." But that was that, and then so that's number 1 for me. And behind this, and it's a tie between Tiger and Rory, because Rory went through a lot. 11-year drought, mental game was not there for a long time.
Real quick, it was a 5-day difference between Rory's last major and Tiger when he won in 2019. 5-day difference. So yeah.
Yeah. So like it was insane for him to see it. Like I was, I mean, I literally cried when Rory won. I cried when Tiger Woods won. I cried when Tiger won in 19. I cried. Like, man, this guy actually did it. Like, he actually proved that doubters wrong. Rory did the same thing. Rory proved every doubter wrong. Proved them all wrong. And he got his revenge back on Bryson DeChambeau too. He got his
get back. Let's go.
He did. He got his revenge back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Yeah. Trey just got delivered some food, I think, there. So much golf talk, the guy's got to eat. So I thought about this for a while. And I'm comfortable putting it at 1, the best Masters I've ever watched, because while I think in terms of drama and just the overall tournament, I think 2019's tied. In 2025 we're tied. But Rory's my favorite golfer, and I watched him suffer for 11 years. Yeah. I didn't really watch golf during Tiger's prime, and I didn't watch it during his drought up until around that 2010, 2011, right after Tiger, went through his whole personal issues. So I didn't really fall in love with the game because of Tiger. I fell in love with the game because of Rory. So he's like a closer, he means a little more to me than Tiger, and just me. Obviously, Tiger Woods means more to the game of golf than anyone ever, but just for me, because he's who I grew up watching, I'm going to have to put that 1. And I never thought I'd witness it. And I got to watch almost every round. The only day that I really didn't get to watch, which sucks, because it was Roy's best round of the week, was Saturday. I rewatched it when I got back home, but after I got out of church right around the time that Rory was teeing off, I watched every shot Rory hit in that last round. Yeah. And to go through the ups and downs, to go through the ebbs and flows, it just was a reminder of his career. Huge ups, massive lows, huge ups, massive lows, and for all to crescendo into this incredible playoff and incredible tournament. That's number 1 for me. 2019 Masters behind. I think it's my favorite golf tournament I've ever watched. I really think the only thing that can come close would be the 2019 Masters. It was just, man, yeah, it was incredible. It was absolutely
I think for sure behind that, I don't know if you agree with this, but I think for sure out behind that one, for me, it's the 2001 Masters when Tiger submitted to the Grand Slam, the Tiger Slam, because and then behind that one, part of 97 Masters.
Yeah. I mean, the 97 Masters, Tiger just literally dominated the whole thing. That was crazy. I really enjoyed Jordan Spieth's first Masters. That was a really fun watch because he was so incredibly dominant in that one in 2015. And then, we all know what happened in 2016, but and Jordan's another guy. He's only a PGA Championship away from a Grand Slam. So he's, I don't know if he's ever going to be in form like that again. We'll see. But yeah, I think the 2025 Masters is it might be my favorite sporting event I've ever watched. The only one that comes to mind would be the 2016 NBA Finals. I think the 2016 NBA Finals and the 2025 Masters are my 2 favorite sporting events I've ever watched.
Yeah. Mine's 19 Masters and probably 16 Finals too.
Yeah, the 26.
It's a tie between 19 and 2025.
Yeah,
it's like with me, Jordan, and LeBron. I can't choose.
Yeah. Well, he did choose. He said LeBron, but it's okay. I get that being a tie because of how incredible they both were, and unbelievable. But that leads me to the next question, and I think I know your answer because I know my answer. Where does the Masters rank in all of sporting events? NBA Finals, Super Bowl, March Madness, Stanley Cup, if you watch hockey, which you probably don't. All the other majors, the Olympics, all of those. Where does the Masters rank for you?
Number 1. There's not a question about it. It's on ESPN. It's on CBS. Dude, Get Up, First Take, Pardon the Eruption, McAfee Show. I already said that. and then Sports Center, so on ESPN too. There's a reason why, because people that ain't golf addicts still watch the Masters no matter
They
what.
still watch the Masters. Yep.
They watch it. And March Madness, dude. I watched it, but we knew dude was going to win it. We all knew. So no one. But then they choked. But then Florida came out of nowhere. So yes, that was cool. College football was pretty good this year too for playoffs too.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I forgot to mention that one, but yeah, there's some good games in there.
But Ohio State was too dominant. Super Bowl was boring. I turned it off after the first half.
Yeah.
The best part was seeing the guy that I love a lot. That was the best part of seeing that Super Bowl was that. The NBA Finals is great, but it wasn't so exciting last year with the Celtics and the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that competed, if Lakers went to the finals, sure, that would be box office, but this wasn't box office at all. So for me, it's the Masters. I feel like golf. I feel like people after watching the tournament are gonna follow golf more than ever before. They're gonna follow. Even Stephen A's don't talk about it a lot. Watch. Same with Nick Wright, all the time. Same with Colin Cowherd. Same with that sporting show on FS1, get the cartoon show, whatever it's called, a breakfast ball, which is dumb. They're gonna start talking about it more too. So even PTI will too. So this is the best sporting event of all time. And I love basketball too, guys. I love the NBA. I love it. I love the NBA a lot.
Same here.
But I love the NFL. I love the Olympics too. I'm starting to get into baseball now, but nothing compares to the Masters, dude. Nothing does.
Yeah, it's hard to explain the allure, the fact that the Masters is willing to lose millions and millions and millions of dollars to not have sponsors all over the course or ads running all the time. It's just an allure to it. It's definitely my favorite sporting event. NBA Finals, I love the NBA Finals, but it's sometimes I don't really care about the teams playing in it. Like the Nuggets Heat, I didn't watch a single game of the Nuggets and Heat. I'm going to watch every Masters. It's just the way that it goes because your favorite golfer will likely be playing at least in round 1 and 2, so you can watch them.
And real quick. On top of that, you get a life. There's nothing compared in any sport wearing a green jacket at all. You're a lifelong member. You can play every year. The NBA Finals, you get a champion every year. Same with the Super Bowl. Same with college football, March Madness. But the Masters is every year. Every year. You can play anytime you want. You get a lifelong exemption. You're looking at the locker room with champions, and it's amazing. Yeah. I want to go one day. I'm gonna go one day watch. And this is the reason why I love sports. I want to cover it because I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the most prestigious event, the way they've done it and everything, the way they treat it, the green jacket, the champions dinner, like all these incredible things they do to make it. No phones allowed during the rounds, like everyone watching. It's different. The Masters is the best. It's the best ever. It's the best ever. We have a question here. I think Trey kind of already answered it. Do you want to go ahead and do this one?
Phil Mickelson's washed up.
Okay, yeah. The question is Phil Mickelson washed. We should have added it earlier, but we'll end it off with this one.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's so terrible.
Done. He can't. I mean, I think his 2019 Tigers Masters was that PGA Championship he won
in 2021.
In 2021. That I think that's the last time we're ever going to see him win a major.
Yeah, he blew it.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of stinks. Liv hasn't helped him either. So we're going to jump into some NBA talk. That was an hour and 4 minutes of straight golf and Rory McIlroy. I knew that was going to happen. So we made sure to keep everything else kind of shorter. But some big NBA news. Playoffs are set, kind of. The play-in starts tomorrow. But before we break down the bracket and then the teams who we know are going to be playing each other, we got to talk about what happened to the Warriors. Warriors played the Clippers Sunday. It was Sunday. I had it on my phone while I was watching the Masters. They played the Warriors. If they won, they were the 6th seed. They avoided the play-in. They lost to the Clippers, fell to the play-in. They play tomorrow. They play the Grizzlies for a chance at the 7th seed. Do you think the Warriors kind of ruined their chances at a deep playoff run by not making that 6 seed?
They sure did. Top of that, Jimmy Butler's kind of hurt too, so
he hurt his thigh. Yeah,
that's gonna hurt them a lot. And here's the deal: the Warriors had a great, cute run. I knew it was gonna last because Steph Curry ain't that guy. He ain't a true leader in my book. And the team, he can't lead a team. He can't. Actually, on Sunday proved it too. I watched the game too. By the way, I watched it.
Yeah, I was watching the Masters.
And top of that, Steph Curry.
Hey, if Rory was out there, he'd have made that shot. That's all.
Yeah, he would have actually. And Steph Curry blew a tie-leading game in the fourth quarter. Missed it. That's what happened.
Yeah,
and Buddy Hield made a dumb. I don't know what he was trying to do, but
I watched some of the post-game pressers. Draymond. So actually, I'm going to talk about Draymond too. But Draymond said that they drew that play up for Buddy Hield. Like Steve Kerr called the play for Buddy Hield.
Oh yeah, Draymond Green.
Draymond Green smoked it. He smoked that layup. He smoked it. He gets the ball. Wide open in the paint. He tries to like draw a foul on Kawhi, kicks his leg up. Doesn't even hit above the rim on the backboard. Smokes a layup that would have tied the game. And the Clippers went on to win. But there's a lot it was a total meltdown. I thought it was a poor coaching decision to have Buddy Hield shoot the last shot. I thought Draymond completely flubbed. Defensive player of the year held Kawhi to 33, I believe. So not super impressive. Let me pull up Kawhi's stats. I know James Harden had a fantastic game as well. Good to see that from him. The player of the year, the defensive player of the year held Kawhi to 33, 6, and 7 on 65% shooting, and held James Harden to 39, 7, and 10 on 56% shooting. It was just a meltdown, dude. Yeah. Total meltdown. And their loss to the Spurs, that Harrison Barnes game winner, another meltdown, now they have to go play the Grizzlies. And the play-in's no joke because it's a one and done. Yeah. And anything can happen in one game. That's why, playoff series, game 7-game series is what you want to get to. But Trey, if they lose to the Grizzlies tomorrow, they fall. They have to play the Mavs or the Kings, whoever wins that game. And if they win that one, they have to play OKC. If they lose tomorrow, their season's over. Yeah. I don't care if they make the 8 seed. They're not beating the Thunder.
Now I'm gonna say this too. I think Steph Curry plays his last game tomorrow going to State if you lose. I think
really?
So. I think so.
Oh.
Because I think the chemistry's gone. Nobody fears that team no more like they used to.
Yeah.
And the one chance of him winning the 5th ring was back in 2023 playoffs when they beat the Kings and when the Lakers beat them. That was the last chance winning. That was his last chance winning a championship. That team overall, since that punch happened, was Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. That's what ruined it. Steph Curry will leave the Warriors watch. He might leave. He might leave, man. And I think Draymond Green's gonna retire too because he needs to be on TV. Then he does need to be a player because he's done too.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I could see the Mavs giving the Warriors problems in a one game winner take all. AD has owned the Warriors. They have length. They're big. I feel like that could pose a problem to the Warriors. But yeah, that's pretty disappointing from them. If they win tomorrow, they have to play the Rockets. I know Chris Broussard on First Things First. He said he'd pick the Warriors in a series over the Rockets. I'm not sure I would. I saw Amen Thompson hold Steph Curry to 3 points. I don't know anything. It's a 7-game series. Jimmy could become playoff Jimmy. Curry could get hot. Things can happen, but I don't know. Moving to some of the series that are set, I think going to be the most watched first round because who's playing in it. Lakers facing the Timberwolves. Timberwolves drew the 6th seed after winning yesterday and the Warriors losing. So who you got and how many games?
Lakers in 5. You can give me Ant-Man, Superman, Batman. Lakers in 5. You can give me the Marvel. You can give me DC Universe. Bring him on. Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5, bro. Give me Peter Parker. Give me Steve Rogers, Tony Stark. Lakers in 5. You can give me.
Oh, he's still going.
Give me Bruce Wayne, Alfred, Joker, and that whole DC Universe crew. Lakers in 5.
Wow.
Ant-Man is great. It's like a fair play to watch, but Julius Randle does not know how to play basketball at all. He's done. He's so terrible in the playoffs.
Oh man.
The year part of that year, he did terrible against the Knicks, man. So yeah, bring him on. Timberwolves. You can have a wolf. Doesn't matter. Lakers in 5.
So, just a heads up. So I have the Lakers winning. I believe it'll be in 5 games. But I'm just going to go ahead and say Luka Doncic's stats versus the Timberwolves last year in the Western Conference Finals on a bum knee. He was hurt. He averaged 32, 10, and 8. Now he gets LeBron. Now he gets AR. And there's no Cat on the Timberwolves, who I believe was their second best player in the playoffs last year. Yeah. This is tough. I think they're going to win a game because I think Ant-Man will have a great game and they'll pull one out. But yeah, I got the Lakers in 5. 5 or 6. I'd be pretty impressed with the Wolves if they pushed it to 6. But Luka's just, dominated them. That triple
LeBron versus McDaniels. He scored 55% this year against McDaniels.
Yeah, it's McDaniels struggles with LeBron's strength. McDaniels is plenty long, but LeBron. The issue is like you kind of have to put Jaden McDaniels on Luka because Ant-Man will get bullied by Luka just because he's so. Ant-Man's a great defender, but Luka uses his body in a way that you kind of have to put Ant-Man on AR, Jaden McDaniels on Luka, and
Randle against LeBron.
Julius Randle on LeBron. Yeah, LeBron's going to average 32, 10, and 8.
Yeah.
He's getting 9 days off, and he's going to be healthy. So it's going to be a real issue there. I guess you could do Ant-Man on Luka, Jaden McDaniels on LeBron, and then AR is going to average 30 on Mike Conley. I don't know who's going to be guarding AR. It's just so we'll see.
Rudy Gobert, he's soft, dude.
Well, Luka just it terrorizes Rudy Gobert. That 3 he hit in Game 5 to give him the stranglehold that they ended up winning.
Yeah.
Luka had 36, 10, and 5 in that game. 63% from the field, but it's whatever. He's healthier now and on a better team now, and he's never had home court advantage in any series in his career. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm not. Yeah. I'm not too confident on the Timberwolves' ability. Great team, great players. I just feel like it's going to be tough for them. But let's move on to a little bit more of an interesting series, I believe, in terms of matchup, because I believe that these teams are very, very well matched. Clippers, Nuggets. The 4 and the 5 Nuggets are the 4 seed. Clippers are the 5 seed. This is a really interesting series. So who do you got and in how many games?
I think Clippers are going to win this game, man. The series overall. That's if Kawhi Leonard stays healthy for one game, and then the next game is out. Then yeah, you have the chance of Nuggets beating them. But Mike Malone being fired and hurt them a lot because there's no personal chemistry there. And you notice something real quick. Every team Russell Westbrook's been on, everybody's gotten fired. Like their coach has gotten fired. If you think about it, because every team Russell's been on since OKC, they've been fired. There's a reason for that too. And Russell hurt them a lot in this team. And I think Jamal Murray ain't really feeling it. He's not healthy.
Mm-hmm. Same with Michael Porter Jr. too. He just came back.
Yeah, Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. too doesn't want to be there anymore. He ain't happy there. That's what reports say, that Michael Porter Jr. ain't happy in Denver. So, yeah. And I think Jokic might leave. If Jokic loses this series, he's gone for the Nuggets. He's gone. So Clippers are winning I'll give Clippers probably in 6.
Okay. Yeah.
Clippers in 6.
Yeah,
because Zubac has a body card.
Zubats is a great player. I'm torn on this series, out of my respect for Jokic, but I feel like the Clippers just have better players. They
Yeah.
have, and obviously barring a James Harden total meltdown, which he doesn't really do until later in the playoffs. We've seen him play a lot of great, first and second rounds, but then have meltdowns in the conference finals. But if we get playoff Kawhi, I don't know. I don't know if the Nuggets are going to be able to deal with that. I'm going to say Clippers in 7. I think it's going to be. I'm going to give the Nuggets 3 games out of respect to Jokic. And if the Nuggets won in 5 or 6, I wouldn't be blown away because it means Jokic probably went crazy. So I wouldn't be shocked by that. But I'm going to say Clippers in 7. I think it's going to be an awesome series. Super excited for that one. I'm obviously super excited for the Lakers Timberwolves. But we're going to go over to the Eastern Conference side of things. It's interesting, the one that we actually decided to talk about, because we don't know who the 1 and 2 seeds are playing yet on each side. We'll do next week when we know, and a couple games have happened. We'll make our picks for those. But Pacers Bucks, I think Giannis is just going to do his thing and win that. But a really interesting one to me is Knicks Pistons, the 3 versus the 6. It's the first Pistons playoff appearance since 2016, 9 years. Who do you got? And in how many games?
Pistons in 6.
Ooh, okay.
Dude, I think Detroit is actually back of winning overall.
They're pretty good.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're like the 2004. Not trying to compare them, but you know what I mean, like the mentality wise or defense wise.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenny Cunningham's a beast, man.
Dude, he 26, 6, and 9 on the year.
Give him
Absolute stud.
if he doesn't win most improved player of the year, I'm literally going to call the NBA and call the reporters to get fired immediately. Because that guy has been balling, man.
He's been awesome. He's been awesome.
And Isaiah Stewart too.
As well. Yeah,
it's just by he's kind of like a crazy wild guy, but he can defend pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sarah Thompson as well.
Yeah,
Amon's twin brother. He's a stud.
Yeah, so I got Pistons in 6 because I think the coach from the Knicks, he's gonna run a person down to the ground, man. He kind of did it even when he's coaching the Bulls. He did the same thing, run him down till they're traded.
Tom Thibodeau, yeah.
So Pistons in 6.
That, man, I don't really know. I feel like I know how good Jalen Brunson is. I know Jalen Brunson's a great player. Right. I know that he's a great basketball player. He averaged 26, 8, and 7 this year. I just feel like Cade Cunningham's going to be the best player on the court.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like Asar Thompson's going to be a very pesky defender to deal with on Jalen Brunson. For Jalen Brunson to deal with. So I do feel like the Pistons are going to win in 6 or 7. If the Knicks won, obviously I wouldn't be surprised. But my pick's going to be Pistons in 6. I agree with you on that. So yeah, for sure. One more little topic on basketball before we move on to our final segment. I saw this when it happened. I think it was sometime last week, but it's the first time we've really talked about it. So Isaiah Thomas went on kind of a little rant. I forgot what show he was on.
He's on
these guys are, on NBA TV, and he went on this rant, bashing LeBron because LeBron was shirtless in a warm up, not a team warm up, 5 hours before the game, like the only person in the arena with him and trainers. And I believe he kind of went on this rant how the game's not professional anymore and this and that and all that. I mean, what are your takes on this? I listened to some people. I tried to get some information on this, and I feel like I know what happened. But like, what was your initial thoughts on this? Because Isaiah Thomas he's not a LeBron hater, and he doesn't bash the new generation. So it was very odd from him.
He actually has done that. He bashed Curry a lot. He says that Curry, when it averaged.
Oh yeah, he said that they beat him up in the 90s, which he's right because they punched people back in the 80s and 90s, which isn't basketball, but he would actually, it wasn't defense. He would he said we'd beat him up, and he's probably right because they punch him, which, you know.
I mean, I think Curry will actually cook him one on one. That he's because offensive players now are smarter than they have in the past. So when I first heard this, I was like, dude, what do you mean by professional? Like, you want them to wear a suit and a tie and then go play basketball in a suit and a tie, basically, or what? If you're playing basketball, dude, he's done it his whole. I've seen him do it in Miami and Cleveland. Yeah, I've seen him do it. There's a YouTube video on LeBron of his pregame warm up, and you can see that he actually cares about the game. So, he actually goes practices he goes practices off with his shirt off all the time. Jordan did it a few times, but you don't bash him because he's Michael Jordan. There's him. There's a picture of Michael Jordan working out with his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a problem with that, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he's getting loose up. He's getting loose up. He's always done that. Go watch the documentary Starting Five. Works out with his shirt off, and there's not a problem with that, dude. Professional, my butt, dude. That's so baloney that he did that. I think he thought it was like an hour before the game, and but still, like, oh, back in my day, man, and we're become professional no more. Like, dude, shut up, Isaiah Thomas. Like, be quiet. There's a reason why Jordan hates you. So,
yeah. So, I think he was. So this was. I was multiple hours before the game. LeBron was warming up. I think he's warming up at 2 p.m. for a 7 p.m. game. So like 5 hours before the game. I truly believe that he thought that it was like an hour before and there were already fans in the arena, which I can see his frustration there. But LeBron has never worked out shirtless with anyone in the arena. It's him and trainers, and people decide to video it. It's not LeBron's fault. He has nowhere else to warm up, and you could say he could warm up at the practice facility, but LeBron gets to the arena for his treatment. He lifts at the arena. He preps at the arena. He's ready to go at the arena on game day, like everybody else is in every other sport. So,
yeah.
And there's no other court for him to practice on at the arena. He has to practice on the game court. So that's what he did.
All the time.
Yeah, football players are there hours and hours before warming up on the field.
With fans in the crowd.
With fans in the crowd their shirts off in freezing cold and all sorts of stuff. Happens all the time. So I do think that it was very interesting because he's never been a LeBron hater. Because I think he actually thinks LeBron is the GOAT because he hates MJ. So it was really odd. I truly believe that he either had a bad day that morning or he genuinely thought LeBron was warming up in front of fans with his shirt off. He wasn't. It was very odd to me. It was strange. I don't know. It was kind of weird, but yeah, LeBron's the GOAT.
LeBron's the GOAT. He's a hypocrite, dude. And he's a really hypocrite because in the 90s when he was broadcasting for NBC with Bob Costas and what's his coach, Doug Collins and Kevin Harlan, not Carvin Hammer, Marv Albert, he praised Jordan like crazy. All because of one documentary. I can see why, but he's a hypocrite, dude.
Well, all those old guys, like Shaq changes who his GOAT is every 5 seconds. Like all those.
Look at Scottie Pippen, the same way.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen's the same way. Yeah, but it was interesting. I don't think you already said it was LeBron on this show, but it's fine. It was interesting. If it was anyone else, I don't think it would have been a big deal. But it's LeBron. So, but moving on to our last little segment here, do a little baseball. Not about what's currently happening because it's the middle of the regular season. Nobody cares about that. Sorry to baseball junkies, but so Barry Bonds said in an interview recently that he would destroy Shohei Ohtani on a pitching mound. Shohei pitching to him. Do you think he's right? Or do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. I'm a big. I like Shohei a lot. I do. I think he's the GOAT or the second best ever. I think he's the most talented player we've ever seen. But I have just one thing I want to share with you about Barry Bonds, and this is my answer. 762. You might be like, what's that? That's the amount of home runs Barry Bonds has hit in his career. Shohei is a great pitcher. He's a great pitcher. He's not the best pitcher in the league. He wasn't the best pitcher in the league at his best. It was the fact that he was such a good hitter and a good pitcher. Barry Bonds would send that boy packing off the mound. Barry would hit some bombs off of Shohei for sure. Shohei would probably get him once or twice. He got Mike Trout. He's struck out some very, very impressive players, but I have no reason to believe that Barry Bonds wouldn't be able to send a couple of those 450 feet. So,
yeah, I agree with you. Barry Bonds will dominate, man. Even before he took steroids in the Pittsburgh Pirates,
he was awesome before he took
awesome,
steroids.
Dude. He was even more awesome. I think I kind of disagree with you about the most talented baseball player because I think Barry Bonds and his prime is the best baseball player I've ever seen in my life.
A talented because Shohei can do everything. He can.
Yeah. I see what you mean, though.
I don't think that Barry Bonds could compete with him on a pitching mound in terms of actually throwing the ball. So,
because when he was an outfielder, I saw a play where he from where Aaron Judge plays at that far, he threw a dart to
yeah. I mean, he had a good arm. He had a great arm, but I mean, he's not a pitcher. I
can see pretty much him being the most talented baseball player of all time. But I think for me, Barry Bonds, I have Shohei top 2. Maybe I think he's the best talent. Yeah, I actually do think he's the best talent in baseball. But
yeah,
but I got thinking about it. But I think I have him 1A, 1B with Barry Bonds because Bonds would send that thing out of the sky, and then Shohei would be like, Dave Roberts would come out from the dugout and say, "Hey, your bench."
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Barry. Don't mess with Barry.
And this is how dominant he was. There's a play where the Giants were ready to last inning, an idiot, a pitcher, and the catcher stands up, and they were so scared of Barry Bonds they threw the ball out standing up out of the box. And then Brady Bonds was so mad they could have won that game, but they were scared of Brady Bonds. They were scared of him.
Yeah. 73 home runs in a season. He's the GOAT for a reason. So, but yeah, guys, that wraps us up for today. Apologies if you're not a big golf fan. We had to talk about it. Me and Trey are huge golf fans. Roy's my favorite golfer, so it was a huge deal. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting. Don't forget to do that if you haven't yet.
Remember giveaway, man.
For the giveaway. Be on the lookout for the giveaway. Trey's doing a giveaway. So if you comment, I don't know which episode. I don't know what videos he's going to use. Maybe he's going to use this one. Maybe he's going to use last one. I don't know. You just have to comment and hope you get the right one. I'm kidding. He'll probably tell you which one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Episode 31 of the Playbook Podcast. Enjoy some play-in action tomorrow, some playoff action on Saturday, and we'll see you guys again, regular scheduled episode next week. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, week, whenever you're watching, however you may be listening. Sorry, Colin Coward, I stole that one from you. But we'll see you guys later.